summarize the different approaches for multi-objective optimization that we applied on the example problem, right? We started with a problem where we want to find the best route that, right, from one node to another to minimize the travel time as one objective, but also we want to maximize scenic points, right? So total hours were minimized, total points maximized. We had a network flow problem, so inflow, outflow constraints and non-negativities, right? And remember, in some variants, we changed this non-negativity to xij binary. We actually had to change it every time new constraints were added, right? This was the problem, and then we applied, right? We first said, okay, these are the two objectives. If we optimize single objectives, we obtain the travel time best 11.5 hours and best scenic points 35, right? We can use those two values as the utopia point, right? 11.5, 35. This is a good target. So this is our default target, target 1, 11.5, the best possible time, and target 2, 35 scenic points, the best possible value for the total scenic points. Okay, and then we applied the weighted sum approach, right? We said because the objectives are not uniform, we replace the objectives with relative deviations from targets. For minimization, it was function minus target. For maximization, target minus function. And then we turned both original objectives, minimization and maximization, into one minimization, right, of weighted sum of relative deviations, right? We started with small weights, like weights equal 1, and then we played with them to get different solutions. Then we said another approach is changing one objective into a constraint. We chose objective 2, scenic points, right? So instead of objective 2, we put a constraint. And remember, this was the case where this is a new constraint. We had to change variables to binary from non-negative, right? And we optimized f1 of x. By playing with target 2, we could obtain different efficient solutions, and then the user could do this, right? Or compare those solutions and choose the one that the user is satisfied, the decision maker, right? And the third approach was minimax. We said we want to minimize maximum deviation from target. Again, we had to use relative deviations, right? Because the meaning of those functions is different. One is in hours, the other is in scenic points. To make them uniform, we need to use relative deviations, again, as before, function minus target for minimization, target minus function for maximization, right? So is this second function is with a minus here, so it's turned from maximization to minimization. And now this format, right, it is minimizing Q, which is maximum deviation, and Q has to be greater than or equal than each relative deviation from target. And by this, we minimize maximum while keeping the model linear, right? All this Q, this business with adding the new variable and these additional constraints is to keep the model, linear. Okay, keep it linear. Okay, and again, we started with utopia as the targets, but then we could change the targets to another value, right? In this case, there were no weights, so I want you to see there are weights here. Okay, there is no weights, just target 2 here. There are 2 targets here, right, in this model. So depending on the model, we have different parameters that are used by the decision maker to adjust which solution is selected, to somehow tell the model, I prefer this or I prefer that, right, by adjusting the targets or adjusting the weights. And then the last one was the goal programming approach, the most complex one, right? But the advantage, of course, it can take into account some soft constraints, right? So we defined these deviation variables. We added constraints that were saying, make this function equal to the target, but if it's not equal, the deviations will express how much the functions are different from the targets. And then we minimized weighted sum of deviations but scaled by targets. Again, this division by targets is there to make the functions, the summation, to add uniform values, right? Because remember, in this case, deviations are in the unit of the function, right? Deviations 1 were hours, deviation 2 plus minus were scenic points. So to be able to add them, you have to scale them by targets to make them relative deviations, right? And these were new variables, new constraints, big new objective. And again, variables had to become binary, right? And remember, with this method, we had the problem that this was the only method that found for us a dominated solution, not just efficient solutions, right? So overall, remember, in all approaches, we kept the core model, and this is the picture we obtained. We got this set of efficient solutions. Actually, these are all efficient solutions in this problem, right? There is 7 of them. Remember, the yellow point is actually the utopia point, right, which we used as a target. So I'm just showing it here. And this blue point was what we obtained with goal programming as one of the solutions, but in fact, it is not an efficient solution, because we can show the blue point is dominated by this point, right? This point improves at least one objective without worsening any objective. In fact, it improves both objectives, but for dominance, it's enough that we can improve one objective and even keep the other objectives the same, right? But here it's even worse, we improve both objectives. So this should not be selected by the decision maker. Why would you choose something that is worse in both ways, right? It's like, I don't like this mobile phone, I will buy a worse mobile phone for higher price. Nobody would do this. A reasonable person would not do this, right? Would not choose a worse solution in every possible criterion, and this is what the blue point